Happy Absolute Saturday, geeks, and welcome back to our Absolute Universe Final Fantasy. I say it every single time. Absolute Universe Fantasy Football Bracket Competition vibe. We are back again to bring you the issue 2s of DC's Absolute Universe. So that's Absolute Batman, Absolute Wonder Woman, and Absolute Superman. We've got chock full of spoilers, summaries of what's going on to keep you completely caught up on the Absolute Universe, and of course, our opinions, and then at the very end, our fantasy football scoring for ourselves, just as a reminder of how the scoring works so you can be mentally mathing as you're going along with us. You get
Well, we'll
points
have it on the screen too.
for
So,
yeah,
we
yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to show it mentally.
You get points for in appearance. You get points for winning fights. You lose points for losing fights. You get points
5
for saving civilians or killing them on a rising scale. You get a bunch of points for thwarting a supervillain. You get points for naming a saving a named character.
Yeah.
You get bonus points if the fight you win is a mob fight. So if there are more than, I think we said, 5 enemies.
Yeah, I believe
Yeah,
that's the.
yeah.
We're gonna have very interesting conversations about some of the fight scoring for one of the books this week.
I think there's a couple of. I think there's going to be a little bit of a, I'll give you this if you give me that.
Yeah. I think that's how it's gonna go.
Yeah. And it's okay because neither of them are in favor of the bot. Because there is a bot. Jay and I, he's fine. Jay and I both have teams going into this. Our teams are made up of 2 played heroes and 1 played villains, including our titular characters. So my team this week is Wonder Woman, Hippolyta, and Black Mask. And Jay, who's on your team?
So I'm gonna clarify
Say
this
your
once
team
I say
and then clarify.
Yeah. So my team this week is Batman, Aquaman, and Hades. And you might be saying, but Joseph, Aquaman and Hades are not in the books. Yes, we drafted before a lot of characters were announced.
Yes.
And I intentionally put in Aquaman and Hades despite them not being in the books because the characters that I have that are in the books that I played last week were getting negative points in the first week. So I've intentionally played characters that are going to end with zeros to try
to just not be the negative.
But
and then our bot team, the bot team is filled in by the characters from the previous week. So on that first week, it was just the first characters who appeared, and we grabbed the next characters in line to be on the bench to fill into this week. And of course, we'll do the same thing with this week, filling into next month. So the bot team this week is Superman, Cersei, and the Joker. But that is all of our housekeeping out of the way. We are going to jump right on into it with Absolute Wonder Woman. This is Team Katie's book. All right.
Yeah, you're going to be so as your team. We'll swap off Superman every week, but as your team, you're going to be starting with the summary here. I do want to shout something out that I've noticed for the first time here, looking at the cover here. Which is, I missed this last month. Did you notice that the Absolute books say 13 plus on them? Right next to the number at the top.
I did not.
Right?
I think we had to talk about this at one point in history where DC used to do a lot of age ratings and it was on the barcode. So interesting that they're bringing that back in. And like the Black Label, I think, is supposed to be for older audiences, but
I think Black Label's basically dead with them bringing back Vertigo and Absolute,
which is fine.
So,
Black Label was fun.
It was. It gave us Bat Dong, which is
never forget. All right, but Absolute Wonder Woman picks up right where it left off with Diana facing down Harbinger Prime, a primordial demon-esque creature, and its minions attempting to lay waste to Gateway City. Using magic, Diana defends against the Horde, and with Nemesis, our absolute lasso of truth, Diana catches Harbinger. The lasso was forged in hell by Cersei, binding and burning creatures in proportion to their sins. She drives the creature and its lackeys back into the water, the weight of its own cruelty too much for it to bear. As the dust settles, a familiar face emerges, a man named Steve. We cut to the past to see the first time Diana and Steve met when he washed upon the shores of the Wild Isle in Hell. Diana saves him.
I'm gonna cut you because we're gonna have some points to do right there.
You're right. I forgot that we do points as we go. I was just
pretty much scene by scene, and
that's fair.
There's the first scene that's gonna be Wonder Woman appearance, and
so that's plus 1.
I think probably a fight 1 right there.
I would argue it's a mob fight. Specifically because she
Nope.
does interact
Not
with
a
the...
fist.
What
Nope.
do you mean?
She doesn't interact with the other things. She's just
she does.
the
She
big one
uses
here.
her magic to repel them.
That's not... No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
That's some bullshit. No.
Here's the thing.
She doesn't defeat all 5, because that's the thing. She doesn't, like, defeat the mob. She defeats the one, and then they all retreat. That's just a fight one.
Okay, then I'm going to be pushing back against one of your Batman ones.
That's fine.
Okay. We'll see if you get points for exploding a building without engaging with anyone.
Oh yeah, no, that's going to be easy points, because we already like established last week that basically any sort of winning is winning. Black Mask just, what I gave you for Black Mask last week. So
when Black Mask specifically right in front of the other ones had people kill them.
You didn't do it though. Anyway, let's continue here.
I'm gonna pause this because I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna fight your ass.
That's fine.
You don't give me this mob fight.
That's fine. That's not even the most. I thought that one was gonna be a slam. That's not the most absurd thing I'm gonna try to get in the Batman book. So
then brace yourself, because if you're not giving me her literally fighting off the horde that is on the cover of her book, then
the horde fight was last book. This is the one-on-one fight. Respect the game.
I am not disrespecting the game. She's specifically right there fighting
There's
a
one
ton of
panel
demons.
of her repelling the thing. That is not a mob fight one, because you get one panel of her just blocking.
I'll have you know, she's also hitting them with the lasso in this panel. Her magic attacking them there.
Where does she hit them with the... Wait. Where is she hitting them with the lasso?
Do you have yours pulled up? I'm asking so
That's
I don't...
That's not her hitting them with the lasso. Yeah, no, that's not her hitting them with the lasso. That's her, like, charging it up to hit the beast. She's spinning it in the air.
Well, her magic is very much still hitting them in either case. Look at them. They are dropping out of the sky. Those creatures are defeated.
She is not hitting them in this panel.
Okay, but the big star of light, that's her magic from the previous panel, and you can see them physically dropping from it.
You want the mob fight? Fine, but I'm taking so much in the Batman book, and you are losing some.
Good luck.
I'm gonna take every damn thing in this Batman book, and you're gonna regret this. So you can have the.
All right, I'm taking my mob fight.
Yeah.
All right, and nobody has Steve, but if they did, he shows up and he's there. I would say that when she goes in,
a familiar face, which is fair, but just for anybody following along with the Absolute Universe, this is the first time he has shown up in the Absolute Universe.
Yes, this is absolute Steve Trevor. Yes. If his last name is even Trevor, who knows? But we cut back to where Diana and Steve first met, which is when he washes up on the shores of the Wild Isle. Diana has to save him from a Hydra that starts to drag him in, which saved name character.
Yeah, pretty
absolutely straightforward. Yeah, that's 2 points for Diana.
That was very
very cut and dry one.
Yeah.
And at her daughter's insistence, Cersei welcomes the presumably dead pilot, he's in hell, into their home to help him out. That is a point for the bot, because Cersei makes an appearance.
Cersei has arrived. Yes.
She helps aid in his recovery, physically at least. The reality of being both probably dead and definitely in hell takes more time to adjust to. Diana goes on a walk with Steve, and the two begin to bond on the beaches of the Wild Isle, at which point we return to the beaches of Gateway City. It's a sweet reuniting between the pair and Pegasus too, and Steve hastens to bring Diana to his commanding officer. Their meeting is far less sweet, as Diana, unfazed, is shouted at and mistrusted, responding coolly and only with the intention of saving lives, as whatever threat was being harbinged. I did this to myself. Harbinged.
I do want to throw out that your reading of the scene is wildly funny to me. Of like, she's only concerned about saving lives, and she gets shouted out. Like, she does not speak down to and like, shit on this man.
That's the coolly part
in the scene. Well, she's not only concerned with saving lives; she is on this man's ass.
I think
she's like, I'm not going to be a part of the military-industrial complex.
She's on this man's ass about him being more concerned about his weird ego trip than actually saving people's lives. But that is a fair addendum. She is also roasting his dumbass. But
an incredibly funny reading of the scene.
It's a summarizing of the scene.
That's fair.
We can't have 2-page summaries this week.
No, that's fair. I just wanted to throw that in there because I felt like It was
But not one to let another's ego get in the way of her goal of saving lives. She heads out to make her own preparations, feeding Pegasus magic and talking with Steve, unveiling a bit more of the lore, such as Pegasus being Pegasus, not a Pegasus, but the Pegasus. The pair are interrupted by the arrival of this new and monumental threat, the Tetracide, which is in fact the very personification of death. Jay, how'd you feel about Absolute Wonder Woman #2?
Yeah, this was a more grounded is the wrong word, but a more like character.
Grounded is right, though.
Yeah, I guess
like
so.
the other one was almost like mythological in format.
I mean, it seems like it's still full of like magic and a skeleton Pegasus.
Here's the more grounded is doing a lot of work there.
That's right. Yeah, no, it's certainly more grounded. It's more on the characters. It's a lot more like dialogue and character interaction rather than like the constant fight going on in the first issue. That being said, it's still a really rad issue. I like a lot of the stuff going on here. I will say quickly that it's Hayden Sherman, right? That's
Hayden Sherman is the artist.
Yeah. I enjoy Hayden Sherman's art a lot more in action-y and bombastic scenes than in the more still stuff. I still love her page layouts in the stationary scenes, but I don't know, the look where Diana and Steve are supposed to be like in love instead. I feel like I don't know what's going on there.
I still deeply love the like kind of it's what's the I always forget what it's called. It's like almost Art Nouveau-y, the way that things move on the page, but not the way that people are drawn in Art Nouveau. It's almost like the way that objects are. Like I feel like a lot of the time in framing, the characters are part of the scene. Exactly, but not in a. I want to say I quite like it, so not in a bad way for me, but in like a kind of they are almost like very still, which I quite enjoy. And then you do get the really bombastic action scenes where there's a lot of movement. I want to give particularly a shout out to their line work. It is so rad, especially on Diana's costume and in her hair.
Diana's costume is sick.
It's so sick. I dig it so much. We got more of these. We likened them to kind of like almost Grecian vases last time, I think. Yeah. Where it like feels like
that's what I said. Where there's like the page layouts are so phenomenal in those scenes. Like they really are like really top tier.
And I want to give shouts to Kelly Thompson on this issue because I think last issue there was a lot of kind of establishment that needed to be done. And we got really wonderful writing from Cersei as she like narrated raising Diana. I really enjoyed the dialogue in this one. I thought that it was.
I thought it was very up and down. I liked a lot of the scenes with her and Trevor. I did think Trevor's dialogue about like you're tall for
he was a bit of a weirdo. I was specifically thinking about Diana's dialogue
with the military. I thought it was very cookie cutter, military bad superhero, a superhero thing.
I liked it. I thought it was very personality driven, like especially from Diana's side.
Like meeting Steve was really, really good. But yeah, that's what I said. I thought the dialogue was very up and down in this issue.
Yeah, but I quite liked it, especially really, from Diana.
Of this series, and Diana I think does have the best dialogue for the most part. I do like Cersei's dialogue a lot too. I think Cersei.
Cersei is like my runaway favorite character. Like I would not have guessed coming into this that Cersei was going to be my babe.
I can't think of this interpretation is the word that I was looking for of Cersei is I think real rad and one of that I rather enjoy. But yeah, we didn't really get a ton points wise in this.
With my mob fight, that's going to be 11 for Wonder Woman and just 1 for the bot from Cersei's appearance.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, okay. We're gonna go into Absolute Batman, I think, up next.
Sure are.
So let me quickly get to Absolute Batman and my great deal of things. So we open up where we left off. Not really where we left off. Where we left off in the flashbacks of the last issue, which I don't think we finished in the flashbacks. We finished with Joker, so not exactly where we left off. But anyway, Bruce is still locked in this room at the zoo.
Which points for Bruce appearing.
Yes, points for Bruce appearing there. But there is a bat locked in there with him, because of course there is. And
well,
he
because they're in the bat house.
Yeah. And he gets swarmed by these bats, which is, your classic Bruce in a cave, in a sewer, in a whatever, where he gets attacked by bats. Your critical inspiration moment there. We then get to where I'm going to do a lot of arguing with you here, Katie. We get a montage of montages of Batman defeating the party animals.
What do you mean?
Is this all meant to be the same?
This is all in the aquarium.
Oh, you're actually, you're right. I don't know why I thought the first page was like three different, or the first two pages rather, were like three different ones. Mainly because Alfred's dialogue is talking about like ramping up.
Yes, yeah. That's very fair. But no, it's definitely all just the aquarium.
Okay, fair. But anyway, so we get a montage of Batman taking down the party animals at this aquarium as Alfred is narrating the escalating warfare between Batman and the party animals. We also learn here that Alfred has been trying to assist him by adding surveillance protections, as he puts it. And Sionis has been bringing in even more party animals to try to combat Batman. Importantly, he mentions that while he has learned to tactically retreat and regroup, Batman never retreats and just keeps going, falls to the walls. And we learn that he has stash houses that Alfred refers to as caves all around the city. And we see a map of them plotted where it is his bat symbol. With a couple random dots that are not part of the bat symbol. So, I think Alfred was trying to force it there.
Hey, look, here's the thing. Alfred describes it as Bruce being committed to the bit, and if there's one multiversal constant about Bruce Wayne, he is committed to the bit.
The funny thing is, Alfred is just, in this issue, turned into full Batman fanboy. Like, he's just because he's his observing role, he's just like, I'm learning all the Batman lore. But in any case, this is certainly a Batman mob fight one.
Plus, and the start of literally on page 3 of the absurd paneling. This team absolute. Oh my god, I didn't even mention Absolute Wonder Woman writer Kelly Thompson, artist Hayden Sherman.
We did say both of their names, luckily, in it.
We did. I'm just gonna real
this
quick.
Is Scott Snyder and Nick Dragata are the team on Absolute.
Yeah,
Batman and Dragata is.
So this is the start of Dragata going absolutely insane with the panel counts, and it's only the start of it. Like, this is a very mild mannered. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's like a 10-panel page with like 4 little cascading small panels where it's like,
I would love to figure out what the average is in this issue, because it's got to be like 13 or something like
bonkers. That. Which, if that tells you anything, that this 10-pager is just
the splashes will certainly bring it down. But if you get the non-splashes, I would be very interested to see what it is. But in any case,
Batman definitely mob fight one there. That's 8 points.
That's 8 points. We also learn that when he's not Batman, Bruce has an extremely consistent routine, which composes of going to work and then disappearing into the shadows. His whole routine. This also is where we learn that he has not seen his mother recently. He has been avoiding his mother. There is a mention of a Red Hood resistance gang that is rumored that he might be working with, which has piqued my interest.
Alfred immediately is like, but he doesn't do that. People think he does that, but he doesn't. I'm the Batman expert.
And then we learn, which I think I have a feeling this is going to come to be sort of an interesting twist coming into the mythos. But we see, or we're told and see that Bruce, in this, I think 3-week period is what Alfred said that he's been following Bruce for. He visits Joe Chill in prison, the man who killed his father. So I'm expecting something to be going on there. But
right? Like, maybe it's just that he goes there and is mean to him, but also...
but it feels like a weird thing to include if that's all it is, right?
Right.
But in any case, we then learn that Alfred's handler has asked him to stop assisting Batman because he thinks Batman is too unpredictable and chaotic. He's like, you gotta just let this man get killed by the party animals. And Alfred is like, I thought about, saying no, but then I did it like a good boy.
Like, all right, Alfred, we get it. You're on your character journey.
But
thank you for laying your stages out for us.
Yeah. But the party animals end up tracking Batman to the same high rise that Alfred had tracked him to at the end of the previous issue, and Batman makes it go boom, and that is a fight one, baby.
Like, because you gave me the Wonder Woman mob fight, I will happily give you this one. I think Batman, it's a little rough with him not even being there, but that's fine.
He won, mob fight won. They got babooshed. I also go baboosh. From this, and there's an even worse example later on. I do not believe that this Batman doesn't kill. Like this man.
Have they said?
They have.
Yes. He doesn't kill one-on-one, maybe. And I suppose, okay, what I'll say is we technically don't see them.
Well, that's the thing. I think it's always like things where we're not seeing people, but it's like really,
it's like you're telling me nobody died.
Like this man just blew up the top of a building. Like you're gonna tell me that he was confident nobody was gonna die when he did that. But in any case,
you briefly mentioned it, but I need to make fun of Scott Snyder real quick because he's my favorite writer, the Batman AF.
Well, you know that was supposed to be the title of the series originally. It was supposed to be Batman AF, Superman AF, and Wonder Woman AF.
I'm so glad they didn't do that. But I want to make fun of Scott Snyder for putting Batman AF in there, but also I want to say, how the fuck is Scott Snyder so good that it feels good to read it? Like, because they do it with the abbreviation, like Batman doesn't R&R, he doesn't retreat and regroup, he's always forward. Or advance forward. So it's Batman AF because they do the Batman RR before. And so it works out. And I'm like, I hate that it works out. How did you make this thing that should be so lame, so cool and satisfying?
Yeah. He got it in there because DC would not let him call the universe AF.
Thank God. Frankly, thank God. It worked here, would not have worked anywhere else.
But in any case, we then go to a very different scene, which is Gordon, still in the hospital from the attack last issue. He's visited by Babs and Bullock, and Babs and Bullock both argue over Batman, with Bullock believing that he is working with the party animals, and Babs being like, he is tipping us off to where they are and fighting them and clearly not working with them, but Bullock's Bullock, and he's like
Bullock doing the like kind of classic anti-Batman argument of they're escalating because he's escalating them.
Yeah.
Okay, Bullock, whatever.
But soon Martha, that is Batman's mother,
Wayne,
shows up, and they leave her alone with Gordon, and as they talk, they smoke together, and they talk about Batman, and Martha actually interestingly says that she thinks Thomas would have liked Batman, which is like a nice little cute. Bruce wasn't there, but it's a nice little moment for him to know that his father would have appreciated what he's doing.
Hey, maybe he would have heard her said it if he would visit her more.
But then Gordon asks about Bruce. Martha says that he barely speaks to her now ever since. Gordon then reminisces on finding Bruce in the Bat exhibit at the zoo. This is a Babs appearance,
which is so rad.
For the.
I don't think the Bot is playing Babs this week.
Is it not? Oh yeah, no, it didn't.
The Bot played Babs last week.
You're right. The Bot played Babs last week, so never mind. I had that in there because I knew last week we did Babs, and my brain was there.
So
but
fair.
In any case, continuing in that flashback, we see a child Bruce as his friends have come to visit him. This is the same friends we talked about last issue, which are the kind of iconic Batman villains.
Killer Croc, Penguin, Riddler,
and Dent.
Two-Face.
That's it.
Yeah,
it's 4.
And technically Catwoman is known as part of the group, but she was not here.
She was not there. Yeah, importantly. Yeah. And his mother alerts him that they are there and says, like, maybe just go out and say hi, yada yada. And he gets very, very mad. He yells at his mother.
Which, like, as an 11-year-old who just lost his father.
Yeah,
fair point, it's kind of his fault. Like, not really, but I can see why a child would think it was his fault. Yeah. Like, okay. Why he doesn't visit her as a 23-year-old grown-up?
Yeah. He's an edgy boy. But in the present, we see Bruce join his friends at their poker game, and it is at this point that we learn Scott Snyder does not know how poker is played.
And that Dragato is willing to make the craziest pages you will ever see.
Oh yeah.
They're so gorgeous.
Look great. I do need to quickly say, like, Snyder, you can, like, not a cursory Google because it's real bad. You have Edward Nygma saying he's counting cards in poker, which makes no fucking sense.
I love you preaching this with your little poker signs behind you.
Yeah. You have Bruce or Bruce asking what the ante is instead of the big blind. Them like talking some bullshit about how the pot's already at a number despite the fact they haven't played the hand yet. Like it makes no sense. It's wild. But in any case, not really relevant to the plot. But I felt the need to say, like, Scott, if this is gonna be a thing because they've mentioned poker games before, and I have a feeling this is gonna be a thing, please, just a little bit of Googling, just a little, please.
What do you mean? Just watch the movie 21 and you're golden. It's funny because they're not playing blackjack.
Yeah. I think Scott Snyder thought they were playing blackjack with the fucking card counting.
Because like I'm real quick. I'm skimming the page just to see. Well, no, because he ends up saying spoilers. He has 3 aces. Because I'm like, maybe it's the type of
says
thing.
He's counting cards. He's like, I'm gonna get kings next hand. Which also, even in in blackjack, not how card counting works. You don't just know what the cards are if you're counting cards.
You know the probabilities, man.
No, you know if there's more face cards or non-face cards left. That's how counting cards works.
All I know is what I learned from the movie 21.
Which I'm guessing is also not accurate based on what Katie. Anyway, I don't want to ramble that too much. Just as a poker guy, like, Scott, do better. Dragata, you're doing great. It's got some good.
Dragata, in there. Show me a panel of someone shuffling.
Yes,
that's what I want to see.
In any case, Bruce is using this sort of as a way to get information from his friends that are connected in various aspects of Gotham. He brings them this like party animal skull tech thing that he claims to have gotten from his construction work rebuilding, but actually has gotten from his Batman work. Nigma is talking about the electronic skull and kind of the tech side of it. Ozzy, who is in denial about his somewhat shady dealings.
He calls his business atypical.
Yeah. He tells Bruce that the party animals don't seem to be after anything. They just want chaos and to wreck the city. And Dent tells him that the crime was probably not politically motivated, or at least about the mayoral race, because Gordon was already in trouble in re-election, so this would be overkill. And then he claims that it's more likely that this is about money rather than power, which surprises Bruce a little bit. And then we also
just to for our visual insane page.
Oh yeah, wild page. And Bruce wins their weird funhouse game of not poker, which I think I should get points for because he won their intellectual fight of poker.
Absolutely not.
Okay. there was the most absurd thing I was gonna ask.
Also, the idea that one hand of poker is his intellectual win, like at that point, it's mostly chance.
Oh yeah.
After one round,
mostly luck. Also, one more thing about poker that doesn't make sense. Like, they were playing with a Joker, but also not playing with a Joker. Like, Bruce had a Joker, but then they find out they weren't playing with Jokers, which makes no sense.
I mean, my reading of this very serious moment is that it, slipped into the deck by accident, because it's, again, the first hand they're playing
the hand
tonight.
Should be void, and they should redo it?
He still had 3 aces.
But if it's something that they weren't playing with, why did Bruce not... Like, there's a million things wrong with that.
You know what? He was dealt an ace. Maybe there was already one out on the table. And he's like, you know what?
Not how that works. You get your cards before there's any cards on the table.
You're right. I know that it's like 3, then 1, then 1. Maybe he didn't look at his cards because he was too busy having fun with his friends.
Well, it doesn't make sense. But in any case,
I do want to say, before we move on from the poker scene, though, now that you've brought up the Joker, I actually want to give big props to Dragato. I love...
He did a great job.
Such a great job. So many panels, which really helps add to the tension of the scene. There are also multiple times where you see characters looking at their cards, and each time all you can see is that Bruce has an ace, and he manages to, like, hide the other card until the end, which, like, the Joker gambit was a little silly.
Did we ever see Bruce's cards?
Yeah, every time you see an ace, that's Bruce.
I didn't remember seeing an ace at any point.
In the middle of... I guess it's not until towards the very end. But in the right beneath his panel on the top left of
oh, you're right, we do. We see a single ace toward the very
and
end.
that was the thing, is I was leaning, I'm like, what else does he have? And then they do the ace again.
Also
when
want
he
to
has
call
one
out,
up
I'm
one.
sorry, unless I'm wrong, that looks like it's not the same ace that he has at the end.
I don't know, you can kind of see the top of the diamond. I think it's just not colored.
That's why it looked like a black.
Which makes it look black and white,
Yeah.
but I think you can see the shape of the diamond.
Okay. But anyway.
But yeah, I really liked that little bit, because on a page that takes like a lot of close looking to get through, it was fun to be like, oh, he has an ace. Oh, there's his ace again, and then having the Joker reveal. I thought that was cute. We love little attention to detail.
It was very well done. But in any case, we also learn from Dent that Hill, the other person running for mayor against Gordon, who strangely they referred him as Mayor Hill multiple times.
Because he had been the mayor before.
So he had been the mayor before Gordon coming back.
He had been the mayor, and then he was ousted for corruption charges, and Gordon was elected. So
Mayor Hill's campaign office, Batman goes there to kind of look into things, and he stumbles upon a file in one of the computers called ARC-M, because, ARC-M.
Because Scott's talking to me. Katie, ARC-M.
Yeah. And then the face of Black Mask comes up on all of the screens.
1 point!
1 point, Katie. And we learn that he has both tipped off GCPD and sent the party animals there after Batman. One of the party animals shoots an RPG into the room. We get a big boom. Batman escapes down an elevator shaft where he finds...
And I love Dragado's art there with the boots scraping along the wall. Super rad.
It's a great shot. He does like a lot of like things that like could look acrobatic, but they just look so like...
They look. It's literally like somebody rolling athletics checks to do things. Indeed, it's like, okay, it should be an acrobatics check, and now I have so many visuals for how that actually works. So I'd be much weaker saying no, barbarian. Wait, barbarians have high dex. No, paladin, roll a dex check.
Alfred is waiting for him at the bottom. Alfred wants to help Batman. Batman's kind of reluctant here. Alfred's like, he's gonna explain, but first they got to get out of there. And he asks Batman if he has a car. And Batman says they're already in his car. And he drives this construction vehicle, bulldozer-looking Batmobile out. And he sends a police car fucking flying, and those fuckers are dead. I'm sorry.
What I need to say is I have bought into this Batman so hard. This is the one thing I haven't been able to be like, this tracks. Like,
the construction truck.
Like, I believe him using a construction truck. I think that tracks. But, one, it has massive bat-themed plating on it.
Yes.
Like, the front, like, cow pusher is a bat, and it's got, like, kind of a bat roof. And two, he was jumping down an elevator shaft. Where was this?
No explanation.
How did he get it here?
How were they already in it when they got down to the bottom of the elevator shaft? I have no idea.
How did Alfred end up in it?
Where is he hiding this, or is he taking off the bat things every single day so that it looks like a normal construction vehicle during the day, and then at night just going out, spending like hours reattaching it just before he goes out as Batman?
Like, this is truly the one bit of this Batman book thus far I haven't been able to buy into. But then we have one more page.
Yeah. We go back to that flashback of Bruce in his room as a kid, and we see Selina in his window telling Bruce that he is coming with her. That's probably going to be my vote for the Bot's hero, second hero for next week. I think
that
is going to be the logical choice there.
Mm-hmm.
But so in terms of this, we got 1 point for you for Black Mask appearing,
and I think 17 for you.
9.
For 2 mob fights and an appearance?
Yes, that is correct.
Yes.
We get
like you said, he's going hard into the Batman of it all.
Yeah.
And goddamn, is Batman a good choice?
Yeah. I figured Batman was going to be the mob fight king of this of this game, which is why I first picked him. I believe I first picked him. I might have actually ended up first picking the villain because you had already picked your hero.
Yes, I locked it on Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I'm not about to vote against Hayden Sherman's art.
But in any case,
we've got one more book.
We have one book. Do you want to tell us the creative team on this book before we get into the full?
I sure do. This is Absolute Superman coming to us from Jason Aaron and Rafa Sandoval.
That is correct. Katie, talk to me about what happened in this issue, because I have never read it before. No.
I'm like, okay, Wonder Woman appears. She destroys Peacemaker. She absolutely throttles Bernie.
She beats Superman twice in a row.
Exactly. And then Batman shows up and she kicks him in the nards too. So Nard actually minus
20 points. No, Nard kick is minus 20 points to the Nard kicker. It's unhonorable.
Well, Absolute Superman, including all of that stuff, of course, kicks off its second issue with Kryptonian Zoom education. Young Kal-El is on Krypton, and he's submitted a paper for a class that, instead of using the infinite font of knowledge, known as the Luminarium, he has dared to write himself. The scolding he receives for such an infraction seems small grapes compared to where we pick up in the present, though. Superman defending a Brazilian village from the Peacemakers and Lazarus, handcuffed to Lois Lane. Talk about consequences of your action.
2 points for the bots right there for appearances for both Lois, Agent Lane, and Superman.
The bot is not playing Lois this week, right? Oh wait,
the bot is absolutely playing Lois this week. 100%.
Oh,
playing.
I thought the bot was playing.
The bot
Am
is
I crazy?
100% playing Agent Lane. You are.
Superman, Cersei, and the Joker.
Oh no, I thought they were. Wait. Okay.
Agent Lane was our villain from last week.
I apologize. I thought that we had put Agent Lane in for this week. Which,
like, good for the bot we didn't, because she doesn't get to do much.
I thought the bot was going to be roughed there, and no, the bot didn't get a lot then, because Cersei gets.
Is basically just based on appearances. Yeah,
I apologize.
But that is a point for the bot for the Superman appearance.
Yes.
Superman cannot remove the cuff that Lois has put on the two of them, locking them together, and his suit's AI seems to only make things worse as it kind of morphs onto it and makes all of the Lazarus people think that he's attacking Lois.
And this molten looking,
very
wise. I don't know how to describe it better than that. It's like a molten.
It's dust, but hot.
It's dust.
It's hot dust.
It's molten dust.
Perfect. Molten hot dust. But the Peacemakers open fire, endangering not only Superman but also Lois. And Kal, being Kal, defends his captor using what we learn is his sunstone dust cape. With no way short of ripping her arm off to distance himself from her, Kal instead brings Lois along for the ride, making his escape. Flying, notably. I didn't write that, but that's what I meant. Lazarus quickly proves how little it values not only Lois's life, but the lives of the local citizens, and Kal is able to drive them off with a classic car throw, which I think is a named character saved because he fully body blocks Lois from gunfire.
Yeah, I think so.
And then I think he gets a fight one. It's only one helicopter, so I don't know if we want to call that a mob fight.
It's certainly not a mob fight.
Yeah, he escapes a mob, but he only wins the fight against the chopper.
Yeah. I'd say it's certainly not a mob fight one in my humble opinion.
I didn't mark it as a mob fight, but I figured I would ask you. No. We then cut to montage as Lois's field report layers over the many ways that Kal helps save the town from fire and destruction, also revealing his heroic nature to her. Just as it seems they might have a moment to truly bond, the suit finally breaks through the cuffs and Kal is gone again.
There were 10 civilians saved there, importantly.
Yes, so that's plus 3 points for Superman.
No, because Lois is also importantly helping carry out the civilians, so based on our rules, it needs to be divided by 2, and thus he only gets 2 points, because he only gets half of the civilians.
You ramble for a sec. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna challenge you on that. For the sake of the bot.
Lois is carrying one of the civilians in her arms as they walk out of the fire. I absolutely think Lois gets equal credit here, based on our rules.
What if we give him 2 points?
That's what I said. We're giving him 2 points. We're giving him half of the civilians, which I believe falls in the 2 points.
Civilian saved is 3 points.
Yeah, okay. Half of the civilians. So instead of 10, he gets 5 civilians saved, which would be 2 points, right?
Oh, I was saying they saved a bunch of civilians, so that's 3 points, and we were dividing credit.
No, we have. They're all in panel. You can count them. It's literally 10. So you can do exactly.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so 2 points for civilians saved then.
It's 10.
We've got our litigious
There's no
boy.
guesstimations here. They're all right there.
If I were playing Superman, I would probably fight back a little harder, but it's the bot.
No, so she's carrying. There is no chance. She is carrying one of those civilians.
Are surrounded by his Sunstone cape, but whatever.
Doesn't matter. She's aiding. It doesn't matter how little you aid. If you're aiding, you are a part of the...
I don't know that you want to make that argument.
I'm making that argument.
As the Batman person who's...
I'm making that argument.
Okay. You make that argument.
Importantly, I also have Alfred.
Who's he going to aid other than Batman?
Doesn't matter.
We're going to see Jim Gordon punch one person in the face.
They're all coming from Batman or if they're coming from Batman and Alfred. It's gonna be the same.
Fair enough.
Sometimes I'm just going to fuck everybody else over.
Iconic.
Anyway.
And Cal is gone again. He flies away. We get to peek behind the curtain as Lazarus twists Lois's report to fit its agenda, and then a fire...
Importantly, Lazarus doesn't.
You're right, Brainiac does. She's reporting...
Which is a point for you.
I'm not playing Brainiac this week.
Oh, you are not playing Brainiac this week? Oh, well, you could have gotten...
It's alright, it would have been the same whether I did Black Mask or Brainiac, still just 1 point each. But, yeah, Brainiac shows up. We see that he is twisting everything that Lois says to fit the kind of narrative of we need to kill Superman. And Lois is like, I don't like the way that the AI, because they seem to think that it's like an
AI, a program
that like takes what they do and then generates a report. She's like, I don't like how that went. I need to write my own report. And we see a little bit of, our not absolute Lois Lane as she writes her own report.
Importantly, though, I feel like important little bit of lore here. We learned that this Lois hates writing.
Yes.
Importantly.
And in fact, yelled at someone for half an hour for daring ask that she write a request for like tanks or something.
Which is why it is surprising that she wants to write this report herself.
Yes, so she's very much moved to do so.
Yeah.
We return to Krypton, where Cal's parents are testing this is back to the flashback, where they're testing like the living suit capabilities of Sunstone Dust, building what we can only assume will become Cal's suit. To end the issue, Cal walks beneath a sign urging those who resist Lazarus to join the Omega Men. We see Lois actually proud of and happy with what she wrote instead of just doing it because she feels she has to. She's like, that feels good. It's like, you're right. And the Peacemakers, including one specifically named Smith, presumably Chris Smith, the normal singular Punisher, teach the citizens of the town saved by Superman the price of peace, massacring those who are left, which gives, I think, 3 points to Peacemaker. For killing a bunch of civilians.
Who I chose not to play this week.
So fair.
Which is,
that's good, because he still came out to a negative
I don't know if I would have given him, arguing against my potential, I don't know that I would have given him the full 3, because we didn't really get, a number that I think you could assume it's the max number for. So,
okay, fair enough. It doesn't super matter, because he's not...
like there's 4 civilians there. So, yeah.
In any case, that takes us...
One important thing, Crypto was in... that last scene with
it was super cute. He was in the first one too. He was laying on the bed with Cal. It's super cute.
But also importantly, now I do think moving forward we will consider Peacemaker to be the Peacemaker instead of
that's what I wanted to ask you. If you wanted to be Peacemakers
I would
or Peacemaker.
like Peacemaker. I would like Peacemaker. That is who I drafted. That is why I left him out once it became Peacemakers, because I was like, that's going to be bad. I want Peacemaker, not Peacemaker.
Okay, rad. Good to know.
Yeah.
But at the end of that book, Superman is coming away with 10 points from an appearance, saving a named character, winning a fight, and saving 5 civilians.
Importantly, I want to hear what you thought of Absolute Superman. I think it was our least favorite for month 1. How are you feeling for month 2 here?
What I'll say is it's also my least favorite for month 2, but I'm really on the hype train with Wonder Woman and Batman.
Yeah.
I think that Superman suffers from the same thing that it did last month, which is not having Cal at the center of his own story.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it is the stuff going on around him. And I really like, there was a really great interaction, actually two that I really liked. There were two interactions between him and Lois that I was a big fan of.
I was really into his interactions with Lois in this issue. I thought that.
And so I'm really excited to see with what Lois ends up doing. I hope that we move kind of. I just dropped a bunch of stuff. I hope we move pretty quickly to Lois not working with Lazarus, so we can have.
I think we're there pretty much. Like, it seems like she's on the.
I don't know. I feel like there's still the whole process of she's gonna want to post her report, and then she'll see that it was like edited or something. So like, I'm worried that we're not
my
quite.
My guess
there.
is that Lois is going to be the central character, and thus I think even though she has those steps, I think they'll move pretty quickly.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, so I think Superman does suffer from not being at the center of his own book, especially when it's supposed to be, you know, absolute Superman. So like how we look at this new cool take. The part of me that's the part of this that I think is really the most exciting, like the new territory being tread, is Superman being like a conscious teen child
what
on
Supergirl
Krypton.
was in the OG, you know, canon, where like he, you know, can remember.
Yeah, and I think seeing him on Krypton is going to be really fun, but I'm worried again that he doesn't have anyone to interact with there.
That's right.
Yeah. How did you feel about Absolute Superman?
I like this a lot more than issue one. I think one, he's in it in a more direct way because we get those interactions with Lois, which is nice. We don't spend nearly as much time on Krypton, which is very nice. And I really liked actually.
And it's more him on Krypton than
in this issue. Like, I thought a lot of plots were good. Honestly, most of my criticisms are more like small dialogue stuff. Like I don't love things that like seem to be really trying to just like be like, I know what's going on in the world right now. So like the clearly like generative AI stuff.
Yeah.
Don't love that. And then my big thing is like the Lois making notes to herself on how Superman smells.
I hated that. I wasn't gonna bring it up because I knew that I was gonna have a very emotional.
I feel like that's the like go-to strange like into somebody thing that writers like to do, and I'm like, has anybody in the real world ever like done that? Like, is that really where you go to when you're like, it's like, this I'm gonna go to like they smell like this weird thing, and I'm gonna really...
And like, I think adding on to that, because I had a lot of feelings about that, I was like, it's silly for me to bring it up, so I'm glad you did. The fact that, because I feel like most of the time when that little trope is used, it's someone like, you know, the person walks away and the person that's into them is like, he smells like sandalwood. Yeah. And someone is next to them like, what the fuck? They're like, I said nothing. This is Lois writing it down.
Yeah, notes. She made notes about it, which is wild to me.
Like in her private notes, but also, why did you write it down? What the fuck, Lois?
No idea.
Very weird. But I still like her a lot. I'm very excited to see what she's up to.
Criticism there. But yeah, I think this was even more visually rad than the first issue because it was more action.
An absolute icon.
I love the way the cape looks. I really like the way that we got action in this issue. And again, it was peppered with a lot of really good dialogue between Clark and Lois, which was great. So yeah, I really like the direction.
I also think it's super interesting that I feel like almost like I'll call it subtle. I don't know that it actually is. It's interesting to watch Superman work at night. Like, I feel like a lot of the Superman content that we get is Superman in like the light of day doing superheroics. This is a Superman covered in shadows. It's a Superman lit by firelight. It's a very they lean into the aesthetic difference of this Superman a lot.
Yeah,
which is fun.
But yeah, I'm very interested. I think this course corrected a lot of the direction of the series in a way that has me more interested than the first issue did, where I was like, I don't know about that. So I'm very intrigued now from issue 2, which has me pretty hyped on the entire Absolute universe. But in any case, do we want to
let's fill in our points?
Have you put in? I put in everybody except your teams.
I have not put in anybody. Oops.
Yeah. Do you want to put in your teams?
I will put in my teams if you want to start with the bot.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. So let me quickly attempt to share. Can you now see the? Oh, there we go. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So we're gonna do that and that so that we can look at the bot. We can actually probably zoom a bit. I can't zoom. Okay, we're just gonna look at it like this. That's fine. So I believe Superman got 10 points, is what we said, correct?
Correct.
And Cersei got just a point for appearing, and Joker did not appear this week.
Didn't
after
even
appearing
appear.
The first week.
Yeah.
So the bot is going to walk away with 11 points this week, and that's going to put the bot at.
Do you want to instead in the total column do the running total?
Sure. I can actually. I can do like an extra box here of like running total, because why not? And then that'll put him at the bot at 27, and now we need to make the week 3 bot lineup, which is obviously going to still be Superman, followed by Catwoman, and are we going to go with?
I think we go Tetracide. I think we go with Tetracide.
Okay, we're going to go with Tetracide. Oh, that's not how you spell Tetracide. Tetracide. I think that's how you spell Tetracide.
I think
that's
so too.
That's going to be going into next week. So the bot got 11 points this week and put it at 27 total. We'll see if it's ahead in the total and whether it won this week or not. I'll tell you right now, it didn't win this week, as I walked away with 17 points.
Oh, right, 17. Wait.
Yeah. 9, right? Because it was 8 plus 1 plus 8, right?
17, you're right. Yeah.
So that's 17 points this week because Aquaman and Hades scored me nothing and Batman scored me 17. And that should put me at 23 total. What was the bot at total again? 27. So I'm still behind the bot in the running total, but I am making...
Alfred kicked you in the nards last week. It was very rude of him.
Yeah. Right.
But who are you putting on your week 3 team?
Oh, yeah, that's the important question. So, going into week 3, I'm obviously going to keep Batman on my team. I'm going to put Alfred back in because I think Alfred's on the sides of the Angel.
They're not fighting anymore.
Yeah, so I feel...
at the very least, he disappears.
They didn't fight in this issue, but the cover was literally them fighting. So I felt like I was valid to not put Alfred in this week because I was expecting a fight that Alfred was going to lose. And this is the tough one because do I think Peacemaker's going to get like his lick in the next issue and then lose in issues 4 and 5 and then I can pull him back out before that? I think I do. So I think Peacemaker is coming back in as well. I think he's going to get a little build-up issue.
Yeah, I think him being Peacemaker and not Peacemakers is going to be a big game changer for him.
I agree. So I'm very optimistic that he's going to get a little bit of build-up next week, and then I can yank him before he gets, defeated for the season.
Yes.
Or for the first arc. And Katie, you walked away with 12 points this week.
I did. Wonder Woman got me 11. Hippolyta got me 0. Black Mask got me 1. So my running total is 27.
You matched the bot for top overall, and yet you were the only person who has not won a week. Obviously, we're doing this based on running totals, so whoever has the highest total at the end will be the winner, so it really doesn't matter. But I want to point out that you're the only person who is yet to win a week.
That's right. That's fine.
But tell us your lineup for
well, I'm starting with Wonder Woman, of course.
I just noticed we have been writing week. It is month, importantly.
We've also been saying week. Like, even when just talking to each other, it's like, it's, week 2.
Well, we do that constantly on the pod, where we'll be like, last week, the book did this, and it's always a month.
Because we're dinguses who don't know anything.
But
I'm playing Wonder Woman. I'm mad because I want to play both my villains.
Both your villains are good.
I feel like Jim's not doing much.
You have arguably the best roster because you've got,
The problem is we only have the one villain slot.
Yeah. Importantly, only the one villain slot.
Very important.
Because there's 3
my roster.
And, otherwise,
Okay,
you lucked in having 2 out of 3 villains because,
I think I'm actually going to...
Or 2 out of 4, I guess, because 2. Anyway.
I think I'm going to play Jim Gordon.
You're going to play Jim Gordon?
Yeah, and I'll tell you why.
Not what I was expecting.
I'll tell you why. It's because, 1, I'm very worried that Hippolyta is going to start showing up as, like, a minion in Wonder Woman and getting her ass kicked a la Alfred.
Yeah.
And I also think with Jim in the hospital, I think if someone comes to fuck with him, it's not going to go well for them. I think if anything, he is going to like
points. Is that the idea? Just to collect that 1 appearance point.
Appearance points, but I also think that if he ends up in danger, he's going to they've told him, and I think he's given up on his mayoral race. I think they're leaning back into Cop Gordon, which is going to give him that leeway to be like, fisticuffing with bitches.
Why would you start with Mayor Gordon just to go back to Cop Gordon? It feels like a weird path.
I don't know.
I think he's gonna take a big fat L for you next week and get utterly destroyed.
He took the biggest L last week. He got shot.
Yeah, I think he's gonna take another big L.
I don't think they're gonna give him another L in the hospital. Like, I think the only worry I have is if they center. I think the only risk I'm running right now is if they center Barbara in the next book and they use it as a way to like fuck with Barbara that they killed Gordon.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. But which villain are you choosing? This is your big decision.
This is my big decision. I
think there's a correct choice, but we'll see.
I think Brainiac is still too behind the scenes. I think that Brainiac is going to be fine getting appearance points. Like, I think we'll get, like we got this month, the, like, ominous him in front of the screens. But I think Black Mask still hasn't... Like, Bruce very much had the party animals on the run this issue.
Yeah.
And so I think that if Black Mask is going to have another good issue, it's going to be next one. So I'm going to play Black Mask.
That's fair.
Do you think I'm making the wrong choice?
I think you're making the wrong choice, because I think that the good choice about Brainiac, I don't think Brainiac's really, until you get that blow off, I don't think he's ever getting his ass handed to him. I think
that's
he's always
very fair,
causing destruction and gaining points. But I think Black Mask, I don't know. I foresee some bad things for him, I feel like. But yeah, I get it.
I don't foresee them for him yet.
I do like your logic. I think
it's a 5-part series. I don't think he's gonna get comeuppance on him on issue 3, especially because Batman had such a good issue this week. Like, he did not lose this week.
I think it's gonna be the reverse though of what you. Whereas I think Black Mask already kind of got his like big setup in issue 1, and I don't think he's gonna get another thing.
That's
I
fair.
think he's just gonna kind of stick around until he gets beat in the final issue. Whereas I think Brainiac very much is going to get built up and get like some nice big things. But that might not be until next arc, because I think he's a more overarching villain, whereas like the Peacemakers are really this arc villains. So maybe maybe he's not going to do much this thing. But in any case, I think that's all we have to show off on here. So I'm gonna stop the share here.
So Jay, do you want to remind everybody of who's in the lead right now?
So right now it is a tie between you and the bot at 27.
At 27.
And
do you want to remind everybody of who won this week? This month.
I won this week. This month.
Yes.
This month I was the top point getter.
Yes.
Just from Batman being Batman AF.
AF. But I'm glad to get through another week with the Absolutes, another month.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it so much. But that's of course not all we talk about on our channel, Jay.
No, in fact, we did something this morning. Katie, what did we do this morning for the people?
This fine Saturday morning, we live streamed, gang.
Yes,
we are super psyched about the dawn of Marvel Rivals.
Yes, and
we decided to bring you all on our adventure as we strive to get good. And I'm sure this stream, if we're recording this ahead of time, I'm sure this stream that happened this morning went amazingly. We killed all of the people and we became the greatest Marvel Rivals players of all time. But that
if you want to
sounds
continue
like us.
with us, despite the fact that we probably finished our journey this morning, clearly, you could also join us tomorrow, where we will be streaming once more. But tomorrow's stream will actually be on both Twitch. We have a Twitch account now, so that'll be linked, as well as our gaming YouTube channel, while the first stream that happened this morning will have happened on this channel. If you want to catch the stream tomorrow, it will be on a separate YouTube channel. I will be streaming on YouTube on that channel. Katie will be streaming on Twitch, so those links will be in the description. Check it out, and you can join us tomorrow. But as always, we'll have our normal episode next Wednesday. We can check out great books like Katie, what's one of the things we're reading next week?
You're not allowed to ask me that. You know I don't know the answer.
Oh God.
Oh shit! It's okay.
Batgirl 2? No, that already happened.
I don't think it's Batgirl 2. I think next week is Minor Arcana, maybe?
No, that's wrong. Katie, we already got the books. We got them yesterday.
Oh, I didn't get them though. I didn't go to the store yesterday. Arcbound 2.
Long Cold Winter. That's one. I remember that's one. Long Cold Winter #1. That's
nice.
Yeah, so you can watch the video for that.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for us today. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow for the stream. we'll see you Wednesday for episodes. And for the Strange Saturday Super Show, we'll see you next week. Comic Geeks.